Hey, if you're listening, you fucking know what show this is because you clicked it.
Okay, let me tell you guys what happened last night.
No, you don't even know what happened last night.
Mandii,
what happened was
we switched bodies.
We didn't. This is not a Freaky Friday shit.
Let me just elaborate. I was in LA. I got invited to an industry party. It's giving
your industry.
Energy.
No, it's giving your industry.
So I go to Versus. Okay.
See, okay.
It was fun. And if I got an invite to something like that, it's a very Mandii thing to do. Mandii went out last night and did Molly.
But see, I did Molly though at a sex club. That's me, bitch.
But also, it sounds like if the two things happened, someone went out, did Molly and partied last night, or one got invited to some industry shit. What do we think?
But also, here's the thing, y'all. I'm blaming the fact that I'm still high and grinding my teeth on our guest today, because he too was at the sex party with me last night. And so I would like to introduce our guest.
Oh man,
do we have to introduce ourselves first? No, bitch. Y'all been listening to us. You know what the fuck this is. Anyway, though.
If you're watching on YouTube.
Oh wait, there we go.
There is some anonymity this episode, just because we like to protect our brothers and sisters that want to be anonymous. So today's episode is about
pegging, bitch. It's about pegging. Hold on, cause Peg the Stallion in the building, y'all. And it's been way too motherfucking. It has been way too motherfucking long. Our guest today, we will call him Mel. He is a tall, 6'3", beautiful chocolate man who came highly referred.
White chicks? Remember what a beautiful chocolate man. Ha. What the fuck?
Well, Mel, thank you for joining us. Again, he comes highly referred by pretty much half of our fan base who has been in his ass.
Not referred, girl.
He was referred. He was referred, and then when I just mentioned, I said, oh my God, we finally got a black man who likes to be paid coming on the show, on the town hall when I got off, and like 4 bitches was like, I bet you I know who it is. So you, sir, have a name around these streets. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
What's on your glasses? They look a little wet.
I don't know.
Probably come from last night.
I was like,
definitely not.
It's giving a little booty juice.
It's scratched. Yeah.
So last night, Mel and he invited me to the Brooklyn Swingers Club. Is that what it would be called? It's a private party. How do you
Mandii peg you or no?
They don't necessarily have a specific name, but they like it like that. They went to it's kind of an invite only thing.
It was an invite only thing.
Like to have
And I'm not gonna lie, because it wasn't really like a club, I was expecting to walk into like a hotel room scene, like one of those
CD.
Yeah, I was like a little nervous. Went in there, beautiful bitch.
Yeah.
Like it was super beautiful. Everyone was super friendly. And literally, I guess by the 10-minute mark, I was doing Molly with him. And then
because I'm watching Mandii try to process some of the things.
Because so here's the thing.
Mandii talks really fast. I mean, if you listen to the show, and me too.
Yeah, you talk fast.
But when I'm like fucked up, like I talk really slow the next time.
Am I talking slow?
No, but I'm just watching you think. Because
I am thinking.
Yes.
I'm thinking because
it was a lot to remember from last.
Not only was there a lot to remember.
A lot going on.
Hold on, bitch. Don't be laughing. I'm really trying to sit here and focus, bitch. So not only was it a lot going on while I was on drugs, I am trying to remember the high points because it was a new environment for me. I will say, for those of you who are not aware, there was like not even one white person there, was there?
Mm-mm.
So it was it was beautiful.
There was one. He came with his friend who was
it was a guy? I definitely didn't say white guy.
And they were kind of like, I mean, they've kind of developed a really cool reputation in the group. So we're like, okay, he's allowed to the
like how we're trying to give Justin Bieber, right?
Yeah, no. Guys allowed to the cookout.
So I didn't get to peg him. However, I was strapped by a woman.
Surprised me. I literally turned to the right and it was like, oh.
Can I just say, Mandii?
What?
It really.
What, bro?
No,
you're not.
Kudos here. I sometimes feel like I can't even get too drunk in places when people know who I am. The fact that you still get lit at sex parties,
because
after people going to sex parties,
you know why?
Let me get it out.
I'm lifestyle.
Because I think that a lot of people know about some of these places because you've mentioned it. And like, you'll still get naked on the beach. You'll still go, like, I think that's really dope.
I was naked.
Oh, yeah.
Because, nigga, I can't do it.
I know you can't. Because you ain't a real ass bitch give a fuck about a nigga like me.
Babe.
But no.
The two don't equate.
I got pegged, and what's crazy is she brought all her toys, and I went with a friend, and she was like, pick which one she can take. And because first she brought like 3 over, and I was like, them things little. I said, I don't want you to strap me with that little ass thing. She said, oh, I got more. I'll be right back.
Have you ever been fucked with a strap on?
Yeah, at the first sex club that I was going to. Yeah, I'm cool with that. But then we were just feeling on each other all night. It was just vibes. You too.
It was very much vibe.
Not feeling on each other all night.
It was. I mean, well, I guess we won't.
You don't have to say names. You could talk about it though.
I guess we'll talk about the effects has on both women and men.
Oh, well, we can talk about that now. So literally the whole night, Mel is just like, get drugs off of the street. This is awful. I hate it. So him and my friend, we all took Molly together. They dicks just wasn't dicking.
They kaput.
Right.
No.
Is that like, but
if there's any drug that makes that happen, then yeah, it can go.
So let me ask you this. When getting pegged, is orgasm the goal for you?
Mm-hmm.
It is.
So it as long as it's done right, because you have to know, like, even when I first got into it, like, it was a lot of studying and learning about male anatomy and like how it actually brings pleasure to a guy. So it's like, and so a lot of times when I do it, or if I actually introduce it with somebody, like, I'll talk to them about like knowing the areas of my body to like focus on, because it can be really just nothing, and it can be great. Like, it just depends on the like level of expertise you have.
But I did ask him, you haven't pegged, correct, in a sex club environment before?
Correct.
And why is that?
Generally for me, pegging is more of an intimate thing. So it's more of a, like, a lot of people, okay, so this is another thing, I guess we'll get into it.
We'll do the deep dive later.
Of like, I guess masculine role, or masculine, I guess the thought process towards it, like being very, it can be kind of, well, a lot of people when they do it, they're automatically thinking that it's going to be more of a dom type thing, where it's like, yeah, this is my bitch, or this is like, whatever. And a lot of times when they think of pegging, they think of like, degradation and stuff like that. Whereas like for me, if I do it, I like it to be very sensual. I like it to be very, like, it's the whole scene.
How is it sensual in the train?
No, we ain't going there yet, bruh. That's a story coming up. Damn. See, hey, real quick, y'all. I'm high, but I know the outline, bro.
One question.
Because I want you to get into that.
It gets in your moments. Like,
that was very much more of a comfortable situation because I knew the people there.
I could also see how, like, I feel like with really vulnerable sex, like, for example, if I wanted to get like slapped, or like using, like, let's just say certain kinds of toys on me, or maybe if it was a leash or a collar or something like that, I don't know if I could do it in a sex club either, because I don't want to think about anyone else watching me. Like, or thinking it's just, and what you're doing is already taboo. Not saying that you're not comfortable with it, because I think I'm comfortable with my sexuality, but just, I don't know how I feel about everyone else being involved in it sometimes when it is certain type of sex.
So I want to ask you too, just so that our listeners can get an idea of who you are, your age, your height, and how do you identify, what is your sexual orientation?
So I am 33.
Okay.
I am 6'3".
Talk your shit, King.
I am straight. Yes.
Okay. And you clearly do the sex club. How would you identify relationship-wise or lifestyle-wise? Where do you fall in the spectrum?
Okay. So I guess it depends on which part of the lifestyle you're talking about. So BDSM, right?
Yes.
That whole realm, I consider myself a switch. So,
okay.
Or dom leaning switch, I guess you would say.
Okay.
Generally, the only reason that I would even consider myself submissive in that sense is because in trying pegging, I realized that it's best enjoyed when you give up control. And
sure is.
And that was a little difficult at first too. Like, it's what they call topping from the bottom. You're trying to like direct and like tell her to do whatever. And I remember the first
power
time
bottom.
We got into this like power struggle. This girl was just like, "Yo, just shut up. Like, just let me do this. Like, stop trying to take over and just let me do what I do. And I was like, okay. And then she's like, you know what? Fuck it. Turn around and get on like all fours. And she was like, that way you can't touch me. You can't see me. You literally have no control. And I realized I found out I enjoyed it. Like,
do certain positions make you feel that like difference?
Yeah. Like, was there a difference from laying on your back and being on all fours?
Originally. But that
thing up.
Especially if you're doing with somebody that you are not fully trusting in, or like somebody you haven't been around a long time. Like some people know, like I've had somebody say like, I could never see you as like a sissy or a wussy or whatever, because I know you in real life. I know how you are as a person. I know you run through your life very like in a dominant way. So she's like, I could never think that even if I wanted to. Whereas like there are a lot of women who they'll put on a strap on, they get this little power trip and they want to go off, calling the guy a bitch, or, my little sub boy.
So you don't like being humiliated necessarily in while getting pegged. So that's really what it is. And for context, while he's using some words like that, a lot of some of the pegging videos you can watch or things like that, people enjoy being talked down to. They like the degradation, like you were talking about. Like
that's a reason why a lot of guys won't come out and admit that, because that's automatically the first assumption that like you're not really a strong person, or you're very just like submissive in that sense. And so a lot of guys don't want that stigma, so they just don't say anything.
I love that you brought that up, because there's so many girls and men who are like, wait, you could still respect that guy after you did that? There's a lot of like conversations as to how a woman perceives a man who even allows them to do that.
Right.
But I want to
nothing is wrong with a guy that does like shit like that, right? It's like,
well, duh.
I think it's more so that it's more commonplace for women to, I'm trying to find the word, because I feel like every time we talk about pegging, or we've had the discussion, and we talk about it so much, right, over the last few years, but we talk about it a whole lot. Conversation about women talking about basically that nigga like being her bitch or not wanting to have that dynamic. And it's like,
so I've seen but
y'all be paying bills though.
I've seen a huge community of both women. So like, there's been a community where, and it just depends on your background, like what you have kind of raised, what you've kind of been raised as, like your things that you require in your man. Like some people, they're like, no, I don't want my man to seem like he's, weak in that sense. And they want a man who just doesn't give him any question. I can't question this man's sexuality. Whereas you have some women who, like, I remember the first time I kind of like came out and told this woman that I had met about it. It was actually at a munch, and she said, like, she started smiling as I started telling her, and she waited to the very end until I told her everything, and then she was just like, you have no idea how many women wish they could find a man that was into that was, down to earth, cool, laid back, not like.
Can I add something to that though? Yeah. Specifically, Black men.
True. Yeah.
That is the conversation. That's why, like, every time I even say I've pegged someone, they be like, well, I ain't never fuck a white person, but they are so shocked that I've been able to peg Black men. Yeah. And Black men, none of them under 6'3". So
what do you think about why that is? Like, why do you think that it's not as commonplace for Black men, or would?
Well, girl, we know that reason.
A lot of Black men,
I'm just trying to ask him.
A lot of Black men are, they're raised to be like, they're raised to kind of taught that they are supposed to be in control of of their situations. And so, even as a kid, being on like the playground, somebody messes with your girl, it's very much like, yo, like, you gotta buck up, and you gotta, protect your territory. And so it's a lot of it comes from like this whole territorial thing of, well, not really necessarily territorial, but it's definitely, people feel like to feel pleasure down there will kind of automatically constitute you as somebody who could be interested in any form of receiving that same type of pleasure, whether or not that be from a guy, whatever. And it's like, no, like, I don't find guys attractive. I don't see a guy and be like, oh, he's attractive. I want to, no, it's literally, and that was a little bit of the conundrum for me. I was introduced to this, like, to anal play by a partner of mine a long time ago. And And I've always been like very much a curious soul, willing to try whatever, at least once or twice or maybe 3 times. But
that ain't trying. Once it's the 3rd time, that ain't even trying no more. Right. You're a pro.
But luckily, I think for me, I've had so many like good experiences sexually that it's just increased the curiosity. So some people go through a situation and don't necessarily have a great experience with it, and then they don't want to try to move on anything further in that sense. But I just had a lot of great partners who were very like they were very caring, they were very like attentive, they were very much like they knew what they were doing, and so it just opened up more and more curiosity down the line.
Where are you at relationship wise?
Currently, I am single.
What is your relationship dynamic? Are you a swinger? Are you non-monogamous? When you're in a relationship, are you monogamous?
So I've had a mix, right? So I've done monogamy. I've done polyamory. I've done, and I've tried different, and so some of them, I mean, they both all have their ups and downs. It really just depends on the type of partner you are able to come in contact with and like their level of communication. It's interesting. Like a lot of people think that polyamory is a good way to kind of like to fix some of the things that they see as issues in monogamy. So say for instance, like you're in a relationship and you guys are going through situations. I've seen couples try to come into polyamory saying like, let's try to be poly to help our relationship. Where it's like, no, you kind of need to fix your relationship first, because polyamory, like a lot of people do have this notion about polyamory just being like, oh, I just get to have sex with multiple people. And it's like, no, it's not necessarily the case. You necessarily have to take a monogamous relationship and just multiply it. So if you can't make a monogamous relationship work, then you're really not going to be able to make a polyamory.
That's a great way to describe polyamory, like multiplying the monogamous relationship. I really like that because when I describe it, I'm always thinking of or saying people that are in relationships separately with each other and maybe they'll blend. And the reason I don't like polyamory is because it is outside relationships opposed to something more casual. But that was great.
But it's also like, it's another level of honesty that a lot of people just have they don't really understand. Like, I'm
not ignoring you. We're pulling up our outline.
Like, but it's a level of of honesty that people are just not used to. And because in order for polyamory to really work, you have to really be very like open about like your sexual history and like your desires, like because it has to be like this huge level. Once you start bringing in other people's emotions, the level of honesty and trust has to be so much higher. So it's actually not, to be successful in polyamory is actually a lot more work than monogamy. People think it's a cop out.
I already know that one.
Like poly and like, oh yeah, let's just be poly.
Because you got to show up for these people emotionally, physically, some financially.
Like just having sex with multiple people is like, yeah, I deal with your emotions in the moment when we're together. But it's like, polyamory, you gotta remember birthdays and you gotta remember like, in their graduation.
It's like more kids. It's expensive.
Yeah, it's still very much like a communication thing where you have to be able to manage all of it. And so people will go into it and not know their limit in terms of how many people they can manage at one time, and then they get caught up and it's like you can't take care of everybody's needs.
I'm back to the streets and I'm gonna take care of these dicks. So I be lying, Weezy. Why do I be lying? I don't know, because it's like I was ready for the streets, but I just don't know. I want to get into our vanilla shit because while we were speaking about kids, oh God, a mom age 44 and daughter 26 are so close, in fact, that they view each other's sex tapes to swap tips on positions and lingerie.
Wasn't that TLC?
Discovery.
Okay. Which also hosts TLC. And I just want to say, which camera's on me, Jordan? This one. Right here. I want you to know, whoever works for Discovery or TLC, I just want to say a thank you from the bottom of my heart because I fell into a deep depression around 2018 where I discovered 90 Day Fiancé and it took me right out. Not to mention, has it not only taken me out of depression, I am now known for doing 90 Day Fiancé voices to the point where 90 Day Fiancé cast members have asked me to send them voice messages of their voices. Also, on top of that, it has been such a joy to just have nothing to do. And then I just click on that Discovery app because now the commercials are gone. And they're Seeking Sister Wife, Breaking Homage.
We love that.
Okay. 600 Pound Life. Then on top of that, my weird obsessions, eating fucking cotton out of a mattress. It's just, you guys never stop. And now we have a mom and daughter shaving each other's asshole on.
Is that really what they're doing?
I watched the video.
So yes, it says a mother and daughter.
Extreme sisters, where the sisters fuck the same nigga and want to ovulate and have a baby with him. It is just like,
interesting thing.
I don't know who does the casting.
Wait,
I went to a sex party once.
Wait, and you met a mom? Oh, twins.
Yeah. And they
were they playing with each other?
Not each other. The guys there, it was weird because the guys there had this fantasy they wanted to see it happen, and they were like, no, we're not gonna do that. But they were like right next to each other on the bed. Like one girl was with one guy, one girl was.
I don't know if I could do that with a sis.
I have seen on OnlyFans a mom and daughter like.
Doing what?
Like they will like dance and wear lingerie together, but then they have their own like separate pages as well. But the mom, the one that they had together, they would like they might bring in a guy and like play them together, but they they wouldn't touch each other, they wouldn't be all that, but they play with the same guy together.
Yeah, this says that they discuss different sexual positions that they could try with their respective partners and the outfits that would best please them. But they do admit that their significant halves have not really appreciated their closeness in a relationship. What's crazy is that both of these women are Black as well. So I know y'all thought it was white people shit, but nope, it's our people.
Girl, then it was like, we be twerking together.
She says that the pair say they have been inseparable since the passing of her father, who died in a car accident, and when she was 7.
Why are they trying to make us feel bad?
I know now.
Girl,
now you right. My bad.
We didn't give a fuck. I didn't.
Father, the daughters?
The daughters. Okay. He passed away in a car accident, and it made them closer.
Got it. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
So no,
years old, and we live in Jacksonville, Alabama.
Girl. Alabama, okay.
Together. Yeah. I mean, everything. Watch move together, cook together, twerk. Go crazy. Show up. I couldn't imagine my life without my mom being in it. I wouldn't know what to do, how to function. I've had people say that we're too close. All right, you got to spread it open a little. My mother and I have been waxing each other for quite some time.
Okay, that's not awful.
I showed her my first sex tape about 2 years ago. I showed her my first sex tape maybe a year ago. What kind of positions do you think I should do, or what do you think we should do? And she was just like, oh, girl, prop your leg up in this angle. Maybe your
bruh.
a little bit more arched in this position. Yes,
life.
and he was like,
Ho is hella life.
My daughter.
Bro, that was TLC. I'm telling you, them niggas deserve a raise over there.
Ho is like, so you've never been in a sex club space where there was a mother-daughter duo? No, not that you knew of.
It surprised me though. It surprised me.
I think I've ran into 2 men that have fucked a mother and daughter. I think Obey fucked a mother and daughter not at the same time, but like the mom was coming at him after. And then I know another guy that told me that he fucked them, like literally went room to room.
Get the fuck out of here.
Sick to me. You saw the white girl from TikTok, and she posted and she was like, I let my man play with my mom. Da-da-da-da. You see that?
No, because I'm not on TikTok because I'm a millennial.
I don't have it either. People just tag me and stuff on Twitter.
Listen, I ain't gonna hold you. Every time I see the little TikTokers, I'm like, shit.
Oh my God.
I am getting old because how long does it take to edit these fucking videos?
Not the TikTok.
It be taking me forever just to get a little reel done, which is why I bitch ain't got no reel.
There's a PR team that told me, not even lying, they were like coming up with strategy for my TV show. And they're like, oh, we could also do horrible decisions. I'm like, well, what kind of stuff would you recommend if we brought you on? She's like, well, we've got to do a TikTok. I was like, we've got to end the conversation.
Nah, I mean, we could do it, but we just got to have somebody do it.
We could upload clips to TikTok. But you think I'm about to be out there with Mandii like this? She make it.
Never. I'm not doing the dances.
I deleted TikTok.
So I realized I can't dance. So
it's giving.
I'm just not.
Bro, I will say I love Black TikTok strike right now. That's fun.
Oh, I didn't realize that was even a thing.
Oh, because the white people ain't made one a dance yet to make the stallion.
To make the stallion.
That shit is hilarious.
It is funny. It is funny.
It's like, it's great. I love a good like Twitter TikTok drama. I just be on it's like it's
Black
going.
Black Twitter used to just be the shit.
It still is. I love Twitter. Twitter is still the funniest fucking shit in the world to me. I want to get into our hors d'oeuvre because now, guys, the moment y'all have been waiting for, we get into the real conversations with the pagan beach. So our hors d'oeuvre d'oeuvre segment is sex tips. Mel, we come to you, Mr. Professional. I mean, I'm a pro too, but you the man now. So I would love for you to give a tip to the man. I would love for you to give a tip first to women who are interested in pegging. So the standpoint that I want to give is this woman has her strap on. And like you said, what advice would you give to a woman to make sure she ensures that the man enjoys himself? What, like some do's and don'ts?
So pegging is definitely it's something that people do, and they enjoy the power trip of it.
Yes,
I love to like walk around waving their strap-ons in there.
I do too. My shit long.
But it is definitely an activity that you have to be very conscious about your partner. So you have to be very like communicative. Make sure like they're like make sure they're continuously okay. A lot of times people can go and just power trip and they forget that they're forget about him, and he might not want to make any noise or say something because he doesn't want to feel.
What about the words they use? Like Mandii calls it her dick. Do you like are you okay with women calling it their dick? Like, do you prefer the word strap? What kind of?
To be honest, I've never really had somebody call it a dick. They call it a strap. They're like,
I call it a strap. Yeah. But I've heard you be like,
it's my dick.
Now sometimes
I'm gonna go get my dick out the closet.
So I have heard them like joke, like they be like, "Ooh, this feels like I got a dick on." Like
oh no, I'm talking about when it's inside of you.
Oh, but when I'm. Oh wait, nah, I have said that. I've been like, you like this dick? Like while, like, cause I do like the talk.
I heard that at one point in time, but I wasn't thinking about it. I was like,
right. I mean, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I think I do. I've said that.
I'm okay with letting them have their moment, right? So they, I'm like, do what you want.
Not letting.
Yeah.
Do you have a big dick?
It's big.
That's what it is.
It's big.
You have a big dick. That's why you don't care.
Big dick energy.
On that one.
He gonna sip on it.
Honestly,
it's big. It's even big soft.
Let me tell you something. I'm not kidding. Like the older I get, in big dick energy, I understand it's like confidence or whatever, but like there's certain little things once I start talking to someone that tell me it's either maybe I'm saying something emasculating like nigga, and they don't get too testy with me. That's big dick shit. And if you ain't getting bothered by a girl saying shit like that, that's because you have big dick.
No, yeah.
What?
I mean, it's plenty of times where like that's just that.
Is it thick or is it long?
Oh yeah. Which do you prefer?
Oh, in terms of a strap?
I'm a
thick, but it's both.
Answer both.
It's both. It is both.
The strap one, like, okay, so that kind of leads into the whole like group.
We'll get there after. We'll get there right after.
So definitely more of a thin, but like, okay, so once you kind of learn more about like the anal canal, you learn about like
or your prostate,
taking the prostate, and like a lot of women think that they're gonna walk in there with like a 12-inch like strap on. It's like, no, like that's not how this works.
That's
like,
the one that was picked last night first for me. And she put that for me. Fine. She put that shit on, and it was down to her knee. I said, "Oh no, you gotta switch." Right,
because I can take more than that. Like there's like a certain so I bought a actual set, right? And so the set itself, it comes with a strap-on that has, or one of the attachments, and it seems like they perfectly plan out the distance, like the length of it. Like it doesn't go too deep. It doesn't like hurt you. It doesn't, whatever. But there are people that come in there with these, long, like, hey, who's gonna take this? And it's like, no, nobody's gonna take that shit. That
always shocks me when I watch it in porn. Like I'm always in pain. It makes me like, oof.
Well, the thing is, like, okay, another thing I had to learn about it was that as a tip for men interested.
Yes.
So, okay, now if you have a partner that is very willing, then yes, that, we'll say that tip for another tape. But the one I would give for that person would be make sure you train ahead of time. Like there are whole anal training kits you can order from Amazon. There are videos and like, and lots of articles about like understanding how to relax, how to, kind of like gradually train up to a point where you can take a certain size, like strap on. And so like, take your time doing it. Like, don't try to rush into it. A lot of the reasons that a lot of women that I meet have this really bad stigma towards anal is that like they ended up with somebody who just tried to shove it in. Like they didn't have the patience. They didn't have the knowledge. They didn't have the kind of like know-how on how to make it a pleasurable experience. Because once you actually get to a point where it is pleasurable. Like it
is pleasurable. A bitch had anal orgasm before. I know. I do want to add a tip to, and we spoke about it. You actually have your own strap and dildo.
Yes.
Which I love because I'll say and this is an advice for men. When I first did pegging for the very first time, I went to the sex store to travel with it, and she just gave me like a prostate dildo. But it was literally just a cylinder with a hook at the end. Didn't look like a dick dildo. It was like that. But it was definitely harder than like the dildos that kind of feel more real.
Right.
But I think in his head, he for sure did not want it to look like a dick.
Yeah.
But when I ended up using my dildo, the feeling was much better.
Yeah.
So I would suggest for the man to go and try out what feels best in his ass, because that hard one was not very enjoyable. And also to just get out of your mind that you don't want a dick shaped
silicone. When you say the hard,
no, like it was really hard. What is it? Do you know what?
So I'm gonna give a plug, right? So like,
okay, talk.
Like I've experienced like the silicone. I've experienced like, and I don't like it. I don't like the feel of it hard. I actually found a strap-on set made by Doc Johnson.
Okay.
And
that's what I have. My strap is Doc Johnson.
Bro, can I tell you, they've been trying to come on Horrible Decisions, and I really keep, like, it really pisses me off.
Nah, they too rich. They too rich. They're not coming on.
How you gonna come on and send a representative, like, pay us?
Yeah.
And then they had the nerve to say they wanted to send some free toys. They've been doing this for almost 5 years.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm annoyed. But go ahead, plug this.
I'm not gonna lie, they got some good products.
That's my strap product.
Pay a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Then,
like fuck.
So they have and it has like a skin filled kind of.
It does.
So it feels.
Mine has balls even.
Like mine.
Yeah. What, bro? We can't.
I don't want to get them no money.
And so then,
but it do got balls.
At first, I thought it was great, right? But then I found out they had like a vibrating base, like that you can attach in there, and the whole thing vibrates. So it actually provides a little bit of pleasure for the woman, because a lot of times a woman, they're like, okay, I'll do it. But
have you done double-ended stuff?
Double-ended.
Not the mischievous laugh.
For her. For her, like. Because like with a strap, you could have a double-ended one. Like I've used that for myself with women, not for men.
Like the insertable one, like the.
That's what I mean by double-ended. What the fuck did you mean? You only got one hole?
I thought you were talking about like a double-ended dildo.
I thought she was talking about double-ended dildo
like with
too.
A woman.
Yeah, I thought you.
That's what I was.
Oh, I thought you said.
Hold on, I meant like the strap, because they could have the double-ended joint, but also like double.
So they have the insertable one that has like a little piece that goes up inside of you, and you're supposed to be able to hold it with your kegels, technically, right?
Yep, that's what I've used.
But they also have the long one with two.
Have you used that?
I have it. I have not used it actually.
I've used it, and it's so difficult because it has to be long for it to be good. And like Scissors and I kept trying to use it, and it was like fuck, because it kept slipping out. So you have to be very close to each other, right? It's jelly, it bends. Or like whatever soft shit it was, but like it's hard because you're like basically one's trying to take the other.
Well, even the girl last night that pegged me, and it's still pegging when it's a girl on girl. Well, she strapped me. There we go. She strapped me. And when she went, she also let me know that she was putting a whole different toy in her pussy. So while she fucked me, the dick vibrated. Also, her pussy was vibrating.
And not even just that, she had a vibrating anal plug too.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
She looked, black version of me. She had pink hair and everything.
Yeah.
Big old ass, like, and she just was like,
she was leaving. She was like, "Where's my?"
She was looking for all her toys.
Have to drop this tomorrow, bro.
I'm just saying she has
Pride weekend for one. For two,
no, we're not dropping this tomorrow.
Why not?
Because I don't need people knowing that this weekend was this weekend. I like our shit being untimely. Y'all don't know what the fuck going on.
Untimely.
Yeah, bitch. I don't need people clocking this pussy. Cause bitch,
it was a hoe on Sunday. Sorry, June 28th. God forbid you can't be all July 16th. What?
Yeah, this gonna come out in August. Yes, it is. Okay, July.
August.
Just know.
No, let's open the booty.
Okay, it's gonna drop in May.
Jordan, let's do it tomorrow.
Okay, wait, it'll drop in June. Yeah, bitch, they don't know when this shit happened now. We gonna drop it in May? It's April Fool's Day, bitch. All right. So let's get into the pegging. I want to hear the stories because, like I said, you came highly referred.
Every time she says referred,
what he was referred.
I'm only laughing because like
He wasn't referred. You know you was referred.
When you use that term, I think of like you hiring someone like, we need sound panels done. We need like we need somebody to. Oh, you got referred.
If you need something, if you need something,
his ass got.
He got a Buddha hole, bitch.
Well, to be honest, I don't necessarily know if that's why they referred, but they probably referred.
No, I don't think they want me to pay you. They just, I think, wanted you to come on.
You got referred. Sorry.
What?
I'm talking about it could have been from my, experience.
No.
Well, they know that I'm okay. They know I'm okay talking about it. Like,
well, can we talk about? Okay, you are 33, correct? You got into pegging when and how? How were you introduced to it? What was your first experience like being pegged?
So, a couple years ago, the first experience actually scratch that. First experience with anal play in general was like 2015 or something like that. And it was a girl who she told me that she, was freakier than me. And I was like, nah, you got to prove that. And so she got your ass toy out of her little drawer. And I was like I said, I was up for like just trying it.
See, and niggas say that all the time. Watch your fucking mouth.
Right.
Watch your fucking mouth. Because y'all be acting like y'all freaks because y'all could go rounds and rounds. Well, but when you meet a real freak.
No, I'm not gonna say.
But you knew what you was ready?
Beat me. Like,
okay.
Competition. But like she definitely opened my eyes to something different because I didn't know how I was gonna feel, and she was very good with it. And I guess they call it milked. I got milked.
She milked your prostate. Okay.
And
can we elaborate that term for people that don't know?
Okay, so your prostate is a sac inside of your anus, about 3 inches in and up, and it's where your kind of like the production center of your sperm. And so when it's stimulated, it produces more. So like to get to a point where you're like shooting those like huge like nuts off, like massaging the prostate will build that up in a person. It's very similar to female G-spot. Like if you do it correctly, you might feel like eventually like you have to pee, and you're doing this like squirt, right?
And then you squirt, y'all.
So it's the same actual feeling. It starts to feel like something's filling up inside of you, like as it's like massaged or played with, and doing it is, for a guy, doing it continuously is like a form of edging for us. But yeah, once that prostate once you ejaculate, it's usually like the first time I think I had it was just shooting everywhere. It hit the wall, it was flying in the air.
He said it hit the wall.
I didn't expect it to be this much. Like she like covered it and I was like, whoa.
So she covered your dick hole.
People are right with the fact that the tongue,
that surprised me too.
The tongue and the fingers are the gateway then to pegging, right? It'll get you there potentially.
In my opinion, a vibrating toy, because the sphincter is a muscle, and so in order to relax it, usually the easiest way is to use a vibrating toy.
See, in the booty?
To be fair.
Oh, you teaching me something. I got to get that.
Gets like, whatever. We all have an asshole when you know you want something in it. Tongue doesn't make me want anything in my ass, actually.
It doesn't. Not for me either. I actually don't like my ass ate. I mean, I feel like once someone is comfortable with getting their ass ate, then they're probably okay now with fingers. Once you have the fingers in there and you see that you actually enjoy the penetration of it, then you may consider, then you'll be like, well, damn, yeah, what else can I put up in here?
So when that girl said that she was freaking at me, that was the first thing she did. And that was the first time I'd ever had that done.
Okay.
So I was like, okay,
Have you ever shit on someone's hand or on their strap?
No, never.
How?
He said he'd be prepared.
Studied. Like I said, it's about the research. I studied learning about, doing an enema properly, making sure you're cleaned out.
You do that?
Right, yeah.
Good for you.
Listen, we don't be planning anal.
Like, you don't eat a bunch of cheese the night before.
Straight niggas don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
I was about to say, we don't be planning anal, and I drink coffee every day. So depending on how early you come over, and depending on the milk that was in that coffee, what, bro? I told you we just changed the sheets after.
This was so much hotter before you started.
I mean, but the crazy thing is too, they also always assume that a straight man's ass is not as taken care of as a gay man's ass.
No, but I don't assume it. I think it's just.
I think it's your partner's.
I'm very big on. I'm a stickler when it comes to hygiene, right? So the last thing I wanted to do was to be in a situation where like I'm shitting on a strap. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, because I mean, even like everything will just turn off the whole situation. Like the smell, the like balls is like okay. And so I make sure, like I said, I did my research ahead of time to make sure because all the articles and blogs were all like, make sure you learn about cleaning yourself,
cleaning that ass.
Like, how often would you like want to be pegged, or do you get pegged? Like,
so here's an interesting thing,
because it's a lot of work.
Of course, this whole episode is about pegging, right? So, it's not something, a lot of people think that once you get it, it's like, oh, now I'm out here fiending for it, and I'm out here like, yo, we got to have this every time. No, this may happen like once
a year.
No, actually,
oh shit, I was
I don't know about you. Yeah, maybe like once a month, maybe twice a month.
But it's a lot of
you're active.
But it's like doing it. Like, I've even had people who felt like a little insecure because they're like, do I have to do this with you every time? And I'm like, no, like I don't really. It's not like and it's something. It's great to have, but like I'd rather have it with somebody who was extremely like excited to do it versus somebody who's like, I gotta do like I gotta do this as a chore to make you happy. And it's like, no, it's not the case. Like I can still have regular sex and be perfectly fine.
I mean, that's why I went to. So when I went to the other sex club, they did a pegging demo, and my ex was like, you should go because I know that this is your thing, and if this needs to get you off, because we never did that, and it's just been very like, you could go and do it if you want because you're not getting it here, but if it's something you need, go do it. Yeah. And I'm like, I enjoy that more than what you're saying where it becomes a chore, because anytime sex becomes a chore, it becomes unenjoyable. I do want to get to, though, the first time you experienced it and who you had get you in there, because it wasn't a partner, correct?
No. So I actually reached out to a dom who identified as lesbian. And I did that because I wanted her to be able to focus, like, I wanted to make sure that she was focused on me, focused on making sure it was a good experience. Whereas like somebody who I felt was like attracted to men might, be all in their feelings, or I don't know, or they just might be really horny or whatever. So I wanted her to be able to focus on it, right?
You reached out to a lesbian dom to peg you.
I was in like a little group chat, and and I knew some people in there, and I knew that she was a dom who identified as lesbian. And so I reached out to her, and she was like, yeah, sure. And like she was very good because she actually knew the right questions to ask. Like she knew like all the things to negotiate before the whole scene happened.
Can we talk about what that is?
Yeah. So she wanted to know like whether or not she could pull my hair, whether or not she could, call me names, whether or not she could spank me, or, she was like, we're going to set up a safe word just in case like something goes wrong. You want me to slow down or stop. Like she was very big on trying to understand my pain tolerance, understand like how far I was ahead in my training. And she even like gave assignments. Like she was like, I want you to do this tonight and that night.
Oh, I like that.
That's hot. Yeah. And so the first time, like, it wasn't like a huge, like it felt kind of just natural. Like we were already friends, and it just kind of felt very chill. And it was actually a very enjoyable time. Actually, the first time was watched by 5 women. Oh wait,
you were watched by 5 women. Is that the story that I'm hearing from? No. Shout out to the Whore Hive. Can you tell us what the Whore Hive did to you?
A different one, right?
Okay, so tell us what the Whore Hive did to you.
So that one actually kind of happened by chance, right? So we had, taken this little like mini vacation, and it was a group of 10 of us, and we taken like this little mini vacation. We were at like a little retreat, like a cabin thing that we had rented. And so there was a girl there who actually was also bisexual, and she had brought a strap on, and they had known that I was into it. So they kept saying like, hey Mel, bring your strap on, bring your strap on. So I was like, all right, I'll just bring the stuff, whatever, just in case it happens, which I wasn't planning on it happening. But this girl like did the same thing. She was strapping another girl. Everybody was like watching, and then she was like, I want to try this on you next. And I was like, yeah, okay, but she actually had a much larger strap on, and I was like, no, we're going to switch over to mine. And it was actually maybe like just 3 of us in the room. She started, and then people just kind of like started coming in the room while it happened. And then everybody was just standing around watching, and people were like, oh, I want to try. And were
you getting nervous when people walked in?
No, actually, to be honest, I wasn't. A lot of these people that were in this group are people that I've had like in group chats with, and I've, people posting news all the time. So I knew these people. Like I've I've seen him at other events as well. So it was very much a comfortable thing. I knew the people there were very non-judgmental and that people were...
Okay, but wait, when people said, hey, I want to try now, how many people ended up getting in your booty hole?
Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I think 3.
3?
I love how they
And it's funny. And it's funny because they were all scared. They were all super scared. And I was like,
you knew they were scared?
Yeah, I was trying to ease it. Like, they were like, oh, I feel like I'm gonna hurt you. Like, I don't know. Like,
you said this ass could take it, huh?
Like, girl, it's okay. Like, and they're like, oh no, like I feel like it's gonna hurt. And
did you get your dick sucked while you were getting pegged?
Yes.
Also with straps, one of the things that I've never done that I want.
Been ridden while I was getting strapped too.
Oh, that's high.
Yeah.
Have you sucked a strap?
No.
That's something you're not interested in either. You just want it, because that's the one thing I haven't done either. And I just want a nigga to suck my strap sometimes.
I just don't.
I like the look of it.
That is, if it did, it'd be purely for like her. Like,
it would be for her. Okay.
It wouldn't be for me. But no, if it did, then yeah, it would purely be for her. Like, it wouldn't get me anything.
Okay, so in that scene, you were strapped by 3 women. What is an ideal pegging scenario for you? What haven't you done that you feel like would be the ideal scenario in pegging? And take notes, guys, because if you see him out and about, now you'll know how to please this man.
The interesting thing is that my ultimate fantasy had always been what I called a reverse pegging gangbang, right?
Okay.
So, and that just be multiple women with strap-ons, say like, I don't know, 4+, maybe 4 to 6, right? So the event that I was just talking about before, there was like one strap-on being passed around, like, and so it didn't really necessarily feel like a
I get it,
bang per se. Like, it was kind of like, oh, let me try next. Like,
you want different sizes.
I don't know about that. Like,
you just saying because it's ready, people like it's not.
Yeah.
Oh wait, so people had to get in and out
putting strap-ons on are a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. You gotta, so you were literally just waiting for them to, and that's the thing too. Depending on your thigh size, hip size, like you really have to adjust the harness.
Right. So yeah, it's the adjustments, and you have to like make sure like they're comfortable with the position, and even when they get on the bed, like they have to make sure it's a good height. And as a tall guy,
I was about to say you 6'3",
because you have to like, sometimes you have to prop me up. Sometimes it's like, I
had to do the froggy. So the last nigga that I pegged was 6'6". The first nigga I pegged though was 6'11".
Oh wow.
I'm 5'1". So I'm literally.
So you're just scaling the tree.
They right here. I'm like, I gotta go like.
Right.
And it's like a lot of work.
Right.
It's a lot of fucking work.
It's funny. One thing I actually love seeing is like when women decide that they want to try strap-ons and then they realize how much work goes into actually.
Oh my God. Even as kudos to all the men.
Right.
That's why y'all have abs.
Stroking is honestly,
it's like
your legs will start burning.
The legs, the abs.
And like what we have to go to.
I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah. It gives you a whole new appreciation for.
It really does. Now some niggas don't put in work at all. So I ain't gonna appreciate all niggas because niggas be out here not really stroking. But the ones that be sweating with a real like fucking stroke game,
right?
That shit. That's why I fuck athletes, because they athletic, and it takes an athletic person to really fuck. I feel like.
Or just 10-minute sex.
I don't like 10-minute sex.
No, I'm saying like, when you're like,
he said, I never heard of that. You never heard of 10-minute sex?
Voice today, but when I'm talking about 10-minute sex, it's like couples that like know how to get each other off. It's like their version of a quickie.
Like my nigga doesn't know a quickie.
I want the experience. I want like the full. Like I said, I'm more of a central person. It like. Just if I wanted to just nut, I could jack myself off. Like if I'm having sex, and it's funny because my boys used to tell me like bro, you got to stop giving this like 100% dick every single time. It was like,
wait, your boys told you this?
Yeah, they were like, because women get attached, or women are like. So it's like,
Vinny says this all the time.
They're like, yo, you got to stop giving like this 100.
He calls it like his C grade, his B grade.
Yeah, they're like, you got to give us like 70%. I'm like, nah, I don't really know how to do that. I don't know what that looks like.
I want to ask you this: when I watch porn, where men are getting fucked by other men, they're not always hard all the time, right? I don't watch pegging porn really, but they're not always hard all the time, and they're still really enjoying it. Particularly with you. Are you always rock hard when you're getting pegged? And even if you aren't, do women get insecure because they think you're not enjoying it because you aren't hard?
Sometimes they'll ask about it, but like there are times when yes, I will get hard. There are times when I won't. But the more you experience it and the more you get used to it, the easier it is to stay hard while you're getting pegged. Like the reason that you are getting soft is because all the blood that you have focused in your penis, you're now focusing all that on your ass. Like your ass is like requiring the like the attention of your nerves and your concentration, and so you stop thinking about your dick. Like you're only thinking about like making sure that this person isn't like gonna wreck your shit. So
you're like trying to focus on relaxing, and that's why you're not as,
and your dick will get soft. Now if it's something where you're starting to enjoy it and it doesn't like, you know, it doesn't hurt or it doesn't anymore or it doesn't like, you know, feel weird anymore, you'll be able to start focusing back on your dick and you'll get hard again. Like
that's a really good explanation because I didn't get it. I was like, but they like it, that right?
I ain't gonna lie. I love a hard ass dick while I'm pegging because I like to stroke. I like to stroke it.
That shows some experience.
Oh wait, so they did it before? Why wasn't they first? If they was hard?
Yeah, unless you have some super small dildo. Like if you have a regular sized dildo, that means that they obviously have done it before. Because
they probably lied to me.
You know how to like multitask in your head, like if you can't, I mean, most guys, are not really the best multitaskers, right? So like, if we are
or communicators,
then usually we're either self-conscious. We could be a little self-conscious about it. Maybe the first time you do it, because you're like, you know, I don't know what she sees. I don't know.
That's so interesting.
So you're focused on that, like, but if you are, you know, just taking that shit, then your shit'll get hard, like, because you're back to like you trust it. You're not really worried about it. You know, it's not gonna.
What's your favorite position while being pegged? Like, do you ride? Do you get it from the back, on your back? What would your favorite position be?
Probably missionary, yeah.
Missionary,
because again,
you like the
sensual.
intimacy.
So it's like, you know, you're there in your face and it's kissing and like, you know, touching. What else was I gonna say? Doggy style is great to watch on camera. Like,
to
watch back on camera. Like if you record it, that's a very sexy position.
You recorded yourself?
Yeah.
Do you ever get
them the videos I need to send them to my phone. You sending me pictures at the beach. I need to see that.
Or like want to see the tapes with you
all the time.
Before
I showed you I got my pegging video, but he was missionary.
Yeah, sometimes, because sometimes people want to know like
how I look.
Even the time when I had like the girls and they were kind of trading out the strap on, like one girl was going and like, and she's like worried that I'm hurting. I'm like, honestly, you could go a lot harder than this. Like, come on, like, let's go. Like, and she's like, I just feel like I'm gonna hurt you. I'm like, girl, if you don't like go, like, and because like, you know, she's like slow stroking, but that's because like I might show them a video where like this girl's going off, like. Like you'll probably see a video later.
Yeah, I need to see the video.
To the point where like she was going so hard, the phone like fell off the bed and like hit the floor, and like it's just, and it has like this crazy angle of us, and we're just like. I
love when the phone gets fucked up and you still hear shit.
And she still like we heard the phone driving, she just kept going like, and it actually took like a really dope like angle of it, but yeah, a lot of it is just how comfortable you are and how like I guess prepared you are for it. But yeah, I
love it. I want to get into the home mail before we get out. Shout out to our Whore Hive member who sent this in because this adds another element to this whole conversation. The title is "He Wants Me to Peg Him." Hi Mandii and Weezy, I love the show. I started listening during the pandemic and now I'm on a mission to start from the beginning and listen to every episode. Oh God, when y'all do that. She said she's up to episode 120. So you're about halfway there.
That's pretty good.
I love hearing the progression of the show and you both as women. Okay, so here's the tea. Y'all ready? I met this guy and we went out a few times and eventually had sex, which was amazing. After that first experience, we talked about the more kinky things we liked and he brought up pegging. I'm all for it. I never pegged a guy before, but I have eaten ass and I enjoy it. So, from listening to y'all's older episodes, I know to get it wet, eat his ass, lube, etc., but he has a hairy ass. How do I bring up manscaping in a way that's not offensive or turns him off? Thanks in advance for y'all's help. And then shout out to her. She's in DC. We will be doing live shows soon, guys. And yeah, so I wanted to ask you, the manscaping conversation.
Oh, it's all gone.
It's gone for you, but clearly it's not for him, and he wants to be pegged, and she's like, I'll consider it, but it's hairy.
To be honest, I feel like it's actually more enjoyable when there's no hair, because hair will get
caught up.
Like it'll get caught and it'll pull and it'll like, it's like pulling a hair out of your vagina. It's like, it'll sting a little bit. Like, you don't want that. You want as much like little resistance as possible.
So how would you tell her a nice way without him being offended?
I would tell her to offer to do it. Like, offer to.
Oh, and I've tried that before.
I was saying, you don't even have to say like his ass. You can be like, I want to do it, and then just get the ass later.
Now, some people are like, oh, they don't want to try, they don't want to do waxing, or they don't want to do whatever. Like, honestly, in my opinion, depending on, I guess it depends on your hair type and your skin type, but clippers are a great way, like just hair clippers, regular hair clippers, even if it's just cutting down short. Using regular hair clippers and just getting all of it. But having somebody there who's actually using the clippers, you get to, be more careful, and you got worry about catching anything.
I did it. Yeah. And it was fun and intimate. Like, and there was, so we got a Manscaped kit. So theirs has like a whole light.
Yeah.
So girl, they are not paying for this.
I'm just saying.
So tell us about when you shaved the girl's ass.
They ain't pay for nothing. No, but I say it to say, I agree not only with eating, but with pegging. A clean ass is, I think, probably mandatory. Yeah. I believe.
A lot of people are very big on this, like you have groups of people who feel like hair is like, it has to be there. Like, it's part of, your natural and whatever, and you have to have hair there. But for me, it's like pegging holds odors. Pegging holds hair holds odors. Hair, like I said, will get in the way. And then at the same time, it doesn't look good in a video.
So I think
you really like these videos.
my advice to our Horror Hive member who sent this in would 100% be that if you feel like you're going to offend him, if he told you he's interested in pegging, I would say maybe you sound like a pro a little bit, or by even saying
if you
that.
Could just say the pain too.
Well, no, I was gonna say just you come in and be like, well, I want us both to really enjoy this experience. Yeah. I've heard it could be painful. Let's manscape.
Yeah.
Or let's take a shower beforehand and let me be intimate in that space.
So some people use. I'm not a fan of razors. That is razor bumps and all that stuff. Clippers prevent razor bumps because of just the angle it cuts the hair, but I've always actually wanted to try waxing once, just to go
waxing your booty hole.
Yeah, I want to go with a friend.
I ain't gonna lie, that sounds painful,
bruh.
That sounds so painful.
Get everything waxed.
Waxing your ass is less painful
you get your balls
than your vagina because the skin is tougher.
Yeah.
So I've been getting waxed for years, and when I do my pussy, the only part that doesn't hurt is my ass. Because the skin is just tougher and it's not as sensitive, and then your period, sometimes it's if it's between or it's after, it's it's the worst. But your ass will not hurt that much. Now, I think the balls are a little more sensitive.
Yeah, I don't know if I would wax. You can't wax balls, right?
You can, but there are people who literally will get it done. But I can't. I'll use clippers literally and just do that. Y'all can take care of everything else, but
I'll give you Usha's number. Her place is my brows. She's really adorable, tiny little lady. And she's like, yes, we do men, we do everybody.
See, I want to go I want to do it as a group.
As a couple?
Not a
group.
You gotta make it a field trip.
This nigga say he want to make it a field trip.
I would love to go with somebody, to see,
I ain't gonna hold you. I'd go with you, but I'm scared of waxing. I don't wax, and my nigga now like hair, so I be chilling. I only clip a little bit down there because it's summertime.
Well, I like a landing strip, but I still like it to be waxed on the side. Yeah. So at the end of our episodes, we always ask people to tell people where they can find you, but you don't want people to find you, correct?
But not necessarily.
Half of the Whore Hive know this nigga already.
Well, I have a an NSFW.
Come on.
IG.
Okay.
But and it's private, so I can accept and deny who I want to.
So drop your handle.
So that handle is Mel the Scorpio King.
Mel the Scorpio King. We will put that in the description of this episode.
Let's see.
If you are interested in slanging some straps for this man.
You ready. Fed life profile in the shit.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. Even when it comes to that, I'm very selective about the energies that I allow in that. I've had people who've hit me up on FetLife or something like that, and are very clearly hey, strap on, using a strap on is in my fetish list. I would love to try that with you. And I'm you know what I'm saying? But I've had people who've wanted to genuinely get to know you, and then, they bring it up later and it'd be cool to try it.
That was going to be my last thing to ask you, actually, was feeling like a prop, because this is something not only so taboo, not a lot of black men do it. Yeah. Do you feel like you're approached more just so that someone can get that experience off instead of really forming a connection?
Also like the BBC experience, right? So like a white woman will go like looking for a guy because they think he has a BBC.
What a beautiful chocolate man.
Right. Shut up, he is.
And so I have people who do literally specifically come and request just like, hey, you know, are you looking for a mistress? Would you like to be pegged or whatever? And I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, because it's like, yeah, that's just what they're looking to get. They knock off a fantasy list, like a bucket list. So you generally, when it happens to me, it's generally somebody that I'm actually like taking some time to get to know, very cool with the person. I have a degree of trust in them that they're going to actually, they have my best interest at heart.
That's the part that makes me the most wet.
Yeah.
Knowing that a man, especially a black man, relinquished so much, not only power, but exudes so much trust in me. I think that that's a very vulnerable position and act to do with someone else. Mm-hmm. And so a man has to really trust you to allow that to happen, because it takes a lot, because they also automatically think, like I said, like you're going to throw it in their face later, or you're going to tell the world. And so it makes, you know what I mean?
That's something you can talk to many other guys about. Like I remember even just trying to bring it up, or just bringing up the idea of ass play to like my boys. And I was like, yeah, like, you ever let a girl eat your ass? And he was like, hell no. Like
they be lying.
They go like, oh,
any nigga that be like, hell no, they be lifting their leg just like this.
She go down there, I'm like, I'm fighting her like off bat. I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they're like, would you? And I'm like, yeah, you know, and they're like,
when you say yeah, does it open the conversation to more? Do men ask you questions the way women do?
My boys are like, yeah, that's you. Like they just they know that I'm just like very adventurous in that aspect. Like, so they're like, yeah, that's you. Like even like I was always a guy in college who was like experiencing everything before everybody else. Like I experienced like a threesome before most of my friends. I experienced like an orgy before all of my friends. Like, and so I'm coming back telling.
So you're just a step ahead of them right now. That's all.
I don't know. And I always just end up with like the right people in my like, that just make shit happen.
Would you be willing to answer questions from men if they decided to write you?
I have plenty of guys who have hit me up to say like, hey, look, and they'll DM me privately. Like it'll be in a conversation.
Yeah, I mean, our listeners, like, because you just gave your handle. That's what I was.
Yeah. DM me privately and say, hey, like I'm looking to start it. I want to introduce you to my girl, but I don't know how to like say it or like how do I go about doing it. And yeah, I've given.
Now, if y'all don't listen to this shit for an hour and you couldn't get enough advice, I'm just like, make sure it's real specific. But I think this was really crazy of us to like have finally been able to sit down and talk to someone that was black and got pegged. The guy that I pegged was some Australian dude. Mandii was like, no, let's wait. And that was like years ago.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring a white man on here to talk pegging.
But I'm glad that we
finally met you.
One piece of like really big advice that a lady gave me that kind of like made me, because at first, yes, I was still very self-conscious about it. Like telling it to people, I was like always nervous that people would be like, oh, that's gay or something like that. But I remember, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, obviously, of course, you can understand why guys are gay. Like that's, ass play is very enjoyable. Like, but like I remember this woman said, she was like, if these guys aren't the ones bringing you pleasure, why are you worried about what they think? It was like, she was like, there are plenty of women who love this. So if they're the ones that you're actually, you know, out trying to impress or trying to like go after, and they want it, why are you being like
worried about what your friends gonna think?
About it? Like,
right?
He's like, yeah, that guy isn't about to like make you nut. So like, why are you worried about what he think? Like, and so
I like
kind of like, okay, all right, and then. You know, I became more open with it, and you just start to see mad people just come out the woodworks like, oh my gosh, like I cannot believe there's a black man who's into this, and like,
that's dope.
You know, and he's attractive, you know, whatever.
You had to air quote, you attractive, well, you tall, like again, like you're an anomaly, like I said, and also very, very, very masculine.
Well, let's hope you're not an anomaly. Let's hope there's a million more of you out.
Hopefully there's a million.
It's like I try to talk it in an open way so that guys can feel more comfortable talking about it. Like, or they see somebody who's like, you know, a business owner and like doing his thing, but still openly talking about it. And like people, I'll have guys come in in my DMs that'll think that because I'm into it, that I'm into men, and they'll, you know, come and try to holler at me, and I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm not into men. I'll straight up tell them. But people. You know, there are definitely a lot of women who will come in and just say, hey, like, it's so refreshing to see this. Like, maybe you know, I can send my guy to talk to you, or maybe, you know, you talking about it more openly.
Not sending somebody to talk to you.
No,
girl.
really, I've had people who.
What is it? A fucking recruiting agency?
No, but it's a lot of women who have men that are on the fence about it, and they're like, maybe, you know, one day, and like they know me, and they're like, yo, I want my man to talk to you. Like, I want you to get him comfortable, like make him feel like it's okay.
And sometimes it's a part of the brotherhood, though. Yeah, but sometimes it's like a brotherhood thing.
Sometimes, because I'll be like, bruh, trust me, it's nice. Like, I'm like, as long if you are worried about what people think, then just keep it between y'all. You don't have to go tell everybody. You don't have to like lay it out for people. Just let that be between y'all, but make sure you can trust her with keeping that. Now, on the other side of that, there being men that have that stigma towards it, there's also women who are very much like, they will clown you if they find out you know, in a strap-on play. And, or if you do tell them, they immediately get nervous and they're like, do you like men? And they're like, and I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, okay. Well, okay, I got a lot to digest now. Like people are, and you know, it's a new concept.
It ain't that fucking
I was about to say, it ain't that new.
I
get it. It's a new concept to be presented into a lot of relationships.
You don't see it often.
But this was really informative, I think, especially because we've just been talking about this for so long. And I think it's great to finally hear from someone that enjoys getting pegged and can explain to people what the entire time when we speak about pegging, it's constantly, even women we bring on, asking them advice, or like, even if we have to bring on a gay man to just talk about anal play so that we can have help from listeners. So we're really grateful that you came, Mel.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mel.
If you guys want some more Horrible Decisions episodes, join us on patreon.com/horrible decisions. And you can listen to for a month. One of them is a live town hall we do every single month with our patrons. We have BTS video. We have merch that we send every month at our $15 tier. We have a Discord that we got to get you in there now. We should do like just an AMA with you, baby.
We should definitely bring you on.
That'd be fun
Discord. They be hooking up in there.
I even did like an anal training class at one point. Like,
oh, you need to charge for this, bro.
You do an anal training class? Oh yeah, we going.
It's easier to train once you've experienced it. Like, and so yeah, I'm
gonna throw an event one of these days. Literally, I'm gonna throw an event. God damn it, a sex event. Yeah. And I need you to be one of the performers. Okay.
A performer.
Well, guys, we're gonna leave y'all with a 5-minute bonus clip. I want to thank y'all for not only listening to another episode of Horrible Decisions, but shout out to the Black Effect Network. That's where we are. That's our home. So shout out to all the pods on that network along with us on iHeartMedia. Make sure that you tell a friend to check us out. And be sure, again, like Weezy said, to join our Patreon. We are going to leave you with a 5-minute bonus clip. And if you like what you hear, go on over to patreon.com/horrible decisions and become a subscriber. Anyway, though, this been another episode of Horrible Decisions, y'all. Bye.
Side, because y'all know that bitch stay fucking shit up. It was her fault, but we
can't deny or confirm that. But what I can tell you is no, I would not have a threesome pregnant, only because I just don't want any energy, like additional energy. I'd want to be monogamous.
So you think your baby would take the energy of the third person?
Like, I just need to keep myself healthy. Like, I don't want to put myself at risk to other partners and keep my baby safe.
But a woman, you be eating pussy. That ain't got nothing to do with your pussy or your root canal or whatever is down there in the baby part.
Okay.
It is. It's the canal for your baby in the ovaries.
Is it the root canal, Mandii?
It's a root that the baby go through. That's a root. Yep.
So, our home mail this week. Poly relationship invite, but married to someone else. This is long, but hopefully it's good. Hey, by the way, there was a white girl that came up to me at Melrose Trading Post, and she like comes up to me and she goes, "Oh my God, Weezy, I love you guys so much." She's like, "I sent in a home mail. I'm one of your 27, but you," and I was like, "Oh, did we give you good advice?" She was like, "Well, you and Mandii you read it, but you didn't really give me advice, but it's okay. It's totally fine."
Wait, we don't be giving advice when we read home mail?
We probably just be talking shit.
Oh.
Cause I was like, "Well, what advice did he give? What home mail were you?" She's like, "You didn't really get to it." I felt bad. She was 22 years old.
Oh, she really needed advice. Well, sorry.
Okay. Hey ho. First, I gotta say I love you both so much, and I love the podcast, and there's not a single person I run into and don't tell them about it. This is kind of long and maybe hard to follow, but I'm gonna try my best to condense it. Well, bitch, please do.
Oh, Lord, you picked a long one. You know I can never follow.
It's not that bad, because it might be juicy. The title was good.
Okay.
Part 1, the husband. So, I wanted to get some advice about a situation I'm in currently. I've been married to my husband 4 years, and lately the vibe been off. We've been arguing so much lately, and we spend no time together, and he doesn't take me out. I've been depressed and just haven't been in the mood for sex. Now, I love him to death, and we've had our good times, but the relationship isn't the same. I work 2 jobs. I'm in school. He works 60 hours a week. There's no time for each other. We've been unkind. Neither of us feel like we're benefiting. And we recently got into a huge argument, and it's ended up into a long text, real ghetto, about how we should break up. Now we're on a break. So, part 2, the poly invite. 3 to 4 months ago, I got a new job, and as soon as I got there, I had a feeling like it was going to change my life. And then I met a guy there, so fine, but I never gave him the time of day because I was married. He's spiritual, and in the last 2 years, I've become more in tune with my spirituality. And when I met him, I instantly knew his tea, and there was an instant connection, like undeniable. I mean, the energy we share is unbelievable. So fast forward to the present, when me and my husband take a break. The dude and I started talking more and more. I asked him just to bait him if him and his girl were also spiritual. He said yes. And I said, so basically, I should have married someone who was also spiritual. He said him and his girl are poly and told me he has 2 sister wives. And I thought the convo would end there. But then he basically shot his shot, bitch. He said when I was done, like completely done with my situation, to holler at him and his sister wives and basically laid out what the relationship could be. And I was so shocked, but not turned off, because I've never been against the lifestyle. My husband and I are in a space where we still live together, but we sleep separately. We are trying to work out our personal shit. So now the guy and me been exchanging crazy passionate energy, like I'm scared to fuck because bitch, he give big dick energy out of the world. And if he's so intelligent, girl, and I can't even handle this, and he keeps saying things like, we gonna get together soon and you can meet your sisters. Girl, I finally broke down, gave him my number, texted me when he was free, and I told him when at work to pick a date and we could link. He basically told me he'll give me the details. He's trying to surprise me with something, and I'm so intrigued. My husband is nothing like this. He's absolutely against my spiritual belief, and the dude got me all in. I'm not sure how I feel about sister wives, but I don't know where my relationship is going. There's so much guilt. Please give me advice. I'm sorry this was long and unorganized, but I really need help. I love you both so much. It had no period.
What is the help asking for? Is she asking whether she should become a sister wife or go back to her relationship? I'm confused with what she's asking.
I think she is going to be so fucked up if she starts fucking with this nigga who has a healthy relationship with his other wives, becoming jealous that her husband can't give her that, and then let's just say she falls all into that. Then she'll start not being able to handle coming to second or third. Then it's going to be a whole thing, and he's fine and he got a big dick possibly, so she just is excited about it. And it's also super easy to get excited about it because she's going through something with her husband.